us. All right, so my dear beautiful friends, we are myself and Greta. We are, let's call ourselves 0 Point School teachers. And Greta is doing her presentation here, and we suddenly got this idea that why not we just put it live in the group so that people can, understand what it is that we are doing here. And I feel as well, this is going to be a beautiful, valuable contribution. And this is also the reason why we are publishing it on YouTube and on Facebook Live. What you are going to see today in this particular video is just a taste of how the classes in the 0 Point School looks like, which means at 0 Point School, how we do this process is by, there's no students, so to speak. Each one of them who are here for the classes, they read the book, they create the presentation, and they present it to somebody else. So this is what we call the learning by teaching pedagogy, and we do it in this peer-to-peer basis, on a one-on-one basis. So that's what you're going to see here. And when you are attending the 0 Point School classes, you will be the presenter. You will read the book, you will create the presentations, and you will come to the class and you will present it to another peer member. Similarly, there would be another peer member who's presenting it to you. So that's how this beautiful creation is done. So what you're seeing here is the demo version of that. So yes, Greta, let's get started.
Awesome, thank you. So my name is Greta. I'm the founder and owner of Better People, Better Planet. I'm an energy healer and manifestation coach, and I'm very happy to be presenting this to you and to the group. So let's get started. Just want to make sure that you can see my screen.
Yes, dear, I can.
Awesome. So I'm going to first give a short introduction to intuitive eating, and then I will be presenting principles 9 and 10. So actually all the way at the end of the book today. This material is based on the Intuitive Eating book and workbook by Evelyn Tribole and Elise Resch. What I really love about the Intuitive Eating book is that it is science-based. It has a lot of intellectual knowledge and a lot of examples. So it really explains the principles of intuitive eating in a easy to understand way. And I love the fact that it's science-based, since I myself am a biologist, so I have that science background. And then when you combine it with the workbook, it gives you the exercises to help you connect with your body's sensations, thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. So by combining it with the workbook, you're putting all the theory into practice, which is great. So what is intuitive eating? Well, it's a mind-body integration of instinct, emotion, and rational thought. It's a personal process of honoring your health by paying attention to the messages of your body and meeting your physical and emotional needs. There are 10 principles of intuitive eating, and these principles will help you improve your ability to listen to your body's signals and to remove the obstacles to listening to these signals. It's a way to remember intuitive eating rather than learning, because we're all born with these abilities and then we forget through life. Why would you pay attention to this? What's the point of even trying to become an intuitive eater? Well, and these are all science-based. Intuitive eaters have greater body appreciation and satisfaction. They have positive emotional functioning, greater life satisfaction, unconditional self-regard and optimism, psychological hardiness, and greater motivation to exercise, because the focus is on enjoyment rather than guilt or appearance or burning those calories. Here are the 10 principles. Reject the diet mentality, honor your hunger, make peace with food, challenge the food police, discover the satisfaction factor, feel your fullness, cope with your emotions with kindness, respect your body, movement, feel the difference, and honor your health with gentle nutrition. And we are going to be focusing on number 9 and 10 today.
Beautiful. And from your previous slide, it was, where you said about it gives us the motivation to exercise because the focus is on enjoyment rather than the appearance or the guilt that we create, right? And I feel I'm the best example for it because, of course, about 4 to 5 months back is when I did this kind of an intuitive eating. I read the book and I was like, wow, how did I not know this for 30 years in my life? But, anyways, until then, I eat food. I was eating food only for the purpose of, maintaining, the body, the shape. And it's like, oh, if I eat this thing, this extra 1 centimeter, one, whatever grows up in my body, let me not eat it. But right after the intuitive eating thing, I feel like the major difference is exactly the words that you said. I am eating for enjoyment, I am working out for enjoyment. And when I do it from that perspective, for the last, let's say, 1 month, I wasn't able to exercise, but I did not have the feeling of guilty behind it. I knew that my life is revolving around, so I can take a break. And then I started, my the workout stuff again from 2 weeks back. And still today it's like, oh, I'm doing it just for my enjoyment. If I don't do it, I feel like my body is like, sitting like a sack bag. I just want to move, I just want to dance, kind of a thing. So thank you for those words. I really love the way you put it.
Absolutely, and thank you for sharing your personal experience with this method. And what you were describing in the beginning were a perfect example of the diet mentality, which is exactly what intuitive eating helps you get out of.
Mm-hmm.
So it helps you get from using outer cues and outer rules for eating to listening to your body's needs and your body's signals, which I simply just find beautiful. So you ready for principle 9?
Yes.
Awesome. Here it is. Principle 9 is called movement, feel the difference. And here's the short introduction to what this is about. Forget militant exercise. Just get active and feel the difference. Shift your focus to how it feels to move your body rather than the calorie burning effect of exercise. If you focus on how you feel from working out, such as energized, it can make the difference between rolling out of bed in the morning for a brisk morning walk or hitting the snooze alarm. There are countless benefits of movement, and here's just a few. Better health, immune system, and quality of life, improved mood, improved sleep patterns, improved learning and memory. Working out or movement prevents or delays cognitive decline associated with aging, which actually means it helps you be able to learn new things as you age. It protects from the effects of chronic stress, and it increases lymphatic movement, which means it helps to eliminate toxins from your body. Um, and I'm sure you've heard of a lot of these before, but it's really nice to be reminded of what it actually does to move. And I'm going to get to that later, but only 2 minutes a day actually makes a difference. So yeah. Here are some of the health benefits. So for instance, you will get improved effects of insulin, increased bone strength, decreased blood pressure, reduced risk for chronic diseases, increased heart and lung strength, increased metabolism, and reduced risk for silent stroke, in addition to improved satiety cues, which means fullness cues, and appetite regulation. And all of this can be done for free. You don't have to see a doctor. You don't have to take a pill. You can simply get up, move around, and these are the benefits that you will get from that. All right, Vishnu, it's time for our first checkpoint. So what are some benefits of movement?
Oh, wow. I couldn't by heart all of that, but still, I was looking at those beautiful points, benefits of movement. I feel you mentioned, two of those things, health benefits and the other one, but, For example, I was noticing the word improving the sleep patterns,
Mhm.
maybe because I feel that was one of my major things as well. I had insomnia for a very long time, and I feel once I started doing those, movements, it became better. Sleep, I think, blood pressure, and there was all of these beautiful muscle strength improvement, and so many different benefits that you shared.
Did any of them surprise you?
Hmm, interesting. I feel like my eyes was on that sleep one because that is one of those factors that I was working on. So maybe the sleep one, it's good that I noticed.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
anything that you want to share on those questions?
I think one of my favorites is the bottom one here, increasing lymphatic movements,
Hmm.
because your blood is pumped around by your heart, but your lymph fluid is actually pumped around by your body moving. So it needs help with moving your body to be moved around the way it has to.
Hmm, interesting.
So yeah, that's one of my favorites. And I guess also the improved learning and memory,
Oh yes.
mood. Yeah, cool. All right, so dealing with trauma will make exercise easier. If you had bad experience growing up, for instance, being forced to run laps because you were considered too fat or too big, or maybe you weren't picked for teams in school, maybe you were teased for being uncoordinated. Not all children are born athletes, and children can be cruel. So many people have had these kinds of traumatic experiences growing up. Also, patterns of rebelling against parents or spouses and others who pushed exercise on you, saying things like you should run or you should go to the gym. And nobody likes being told what to do, even if it's a well meaning person telling you. So, dealing with these trauma will help make exercise easier, and it will help make resistance to moving your body go away. So, that might be helpful to start moving your body more. Also, dealing with negative beliefs will make exercise easier. For instance, the belief of it's not worth it. If it's not perfect, it doesn't count. It's useless. If I plan to do 5 workouts this week and I only did 3, it doesn't count. I didn't do well enough. When in fact, studies show that as little as 2 minutes of exercise per day significantly alleviated shoulder and back pain. And
Wow.
in the long term, yeah, it's quite amazing results.
Yeah, great research there as well because they're providing us with that proof there. So that's nice.
Yes, I love that it's all research based. And in the long term, every little bit that you do counts. Every little bit makes a difference. Another negative belief that many people have, and maybe it's true for many people, it's that there is no time to spare. What you can think of then, what are some realistic ways you can take care of yourself by moving your body? Where can you make room for yourself, for taking care of yourself? Many people believe that they're lazy for not exercising when in fact they might be overscheduled. Maybe there isn't 15 minutes in their day. We're going to get back to that a little later too, but it's important to remove that shame and remove that label of being a lazy person. Another negative limiting belief is if you don't sweat, it's not worth it. You actually don't have to sweat vigorously to benefit from movement, and it is possible to benefit from activities like gardening, raking the leaves, or walking. I actually um, I saw this video about a study once where they had cleaners and they divided them into 2 groups, and they told one group that your job is really beneficial. The movement you do cleaning is so beneficial for your body. You have this amazing health effects. People lose weight, and they gave them all these facts or information. And then the other group, I think they didn't say anything. And the group that had this information coming from these scientists actually had all these health effects. to a way larger degree than the group that didn't. So it goes to show that your beliefs are so important for what manifests.
Absolutely. And is that example from this particular book?
No.
Oh, I have read the same thing then. I was thinking maybe I got it from this book when you mentioned it. But interestingly, what happened again was as I was reading the book, and I'm just giving my example. So until then, I did not like to wash my dishes, and I always had something like, oh, I'm working all day long, my partner needs to wash the dishes. But as I was doing this intuitive eating, it was like an 8-week program I did, and the coach who was helping me with it kind of informed me, Vishnu, you are sitting at this desk and working all day long, you need to be active at least 6 hours a day. So you can just simply stand, walk, do whatever it is, but need to be that, at least that 6 hours of activity needs to be there. So then this washing dishes that I can do for, let's say, 15-20 minutes a day became not a task for how we look at it from that perspective. Instead, that became my, oh, that's the only way I can activate my body, so to speak. And from that day until then, there has been always fights between me and my husband on that topic. But from that day onwards, I started loving dishes, and today it's like I get up once in every 2 to 3 hours. I go to my kitchen and then I just simply wash my dishes, just because that's my life pattern here. But again, it's totally worth it when we, especially from your research that you're informing me and reminding me about, it looks like now I consider washing dishes as my time of activity. I'm
Mhm.
standing up, I'm working out my hands, so to speak. So it feels like when I do it from that belief, I'm actually getting the benefits of that, just because you said, the beliefs change the benefit behind it. So thank you for bringing that up.
Congratulations of transforming doing dishes into an activity of self-care. That's really awesome.
Thank you so much.
There are some things that it would be wise to avoid. For instance, it's forcing yourself to exercise before you're ready. If you have a lot of resistance towards exercise, then just wait and work on your beliefs, on releasing your trauma instead. And then maybe you'll wake up one day once you've done that and you'll be ready and willing, and you're just going to start exercising. Also, don't use exercise as a punishment or penance for eating. I ate this cake, so I have to run 3 miles. Don't do that. Exercise is not a penance or a punishment. It is a way of taking care of yourself. Also, avoid measuring your success by the calories burned. We're going to come back to what to do instead. Also, don't associate exercise with diets and weight loss. A lot of people have done that. And when you start exercising while you're not feeding yourself properly, you don't have enough energy and it is hard to exercise. So just decouple exercise from the old paradigm of diets and weight loss that we are removing ourselves from. Don't crash exercise, like don't suddenly start exercising vigorously if you've gone from not exercising at all. Don't over exercise, don't overdo it, and don't obsess about it. Like if you, like you said, you couldn't exercise for a while, you could have obsessed and stressed about it, and that would have caused negative effects. While if instead you just acknowledge that it's not going to happen right now, I will get back to it, it's no big deal, then you're fine. So some helpful pointers to get you started with exercise. If exercise is a difficult word for you, call it movement. It is a difficult word for many people. It has negative emotions attached to it, and that can be cleared, but it's very easy to just switch to calling it movement.
Yes, and in my calendar, instead of saying exercise, where how I block my time, and there's, instead of exercise, I have it as moving my body. So
Yes.
that those words are so easy and fun as well, I feel.
Mhm. That's a really good point, a good example of how to implement it. Also, start when you're ready. Whether you start today or in 3 months, it's not going to make or break your health. And you should also know that if you want to shape your body, if you want to become smaller or you want to become healthier, food actually accounts for 90% of your body shape and size. So exercise is going to be that last 10%. You can actually transform your body by changing how you eat and by changing your perception of how you eat. So it's not a big deal if you're not ready to start now. Then just wait a little bit, maybe work on the underlying causes, and then you'll start. Another helpful pointer is to ease into it. Start gently and gradually, and then increase the intensity. This is going to help you avoid soreness and stay motivated. We've all probably, at least I have, overdone it, and then you're almost in bed for days after, or maybe you have difficulty walking, and that's not very motivating to me for keeping moving. Also, be comfortable. And the authors of the book emphasize this point throughout the book. Keep your body comfortable. Wear comfortable workout clothes that you feel good in, and wear good shoes. These are really important points. Maybe instead of thinking that you're going to buy new workout clothes when you have lost the weight, go out now and buy yourself some new clothes that you feel good in. And once you've started, here's some advice that will help you stick with it. Make it fun. Figure out what kind of movement you enjoy. Is it dancing? Is it yoga? Is it walking? Whatever it is, figure out what it is. Also, work out with a friend. If you include a friend in this will be the fun time that you hang out with your friend instead of something you have to do. You can also make it you time. A lot of parents especially never have time to themselves. And if you can find a way to make time for yourself and you exercise, this is going to be your precious you time that is only for you. Another thing you can do to make it fun is to listen to music, audiobooks, or podcasts while you're running or walking. I actually once, when Grey's Anatomy was at like season 7 or 8 and we still had DVDs, my friend gave me all 8 seasons, and I got a stationary bike and I had to be on my bike to watch, and I love watching. So I watched 2 or 3 episodes just biking and I loved it. So that's good advice. Another important point is to remember rest. Recover between workouts and take time off if you're unwell. If your body is not completely well, it needs its energy to heal. So take time off. Maybe go for walks instead of rigorously exercising. You can still move your body, but take it down a notch and give your body the permission and time and space to heal when it needs to. It's also really important that you fuel your body for exercise. And that mainly means you have to eat enough carbohydrates, because if you don't, your body is going to start using your muscles for fuel. And that's exactly the opposite of what you want. So don't be afraid of eating carbohydrates. Rather than focusing on no carbs, focus on slow carbs. That's going to help you. So Vishnu, what kind of exercise or movement do you enjoy?
Thank you for asking that question. This was exactly what I wanted to share from your previous slide as well. So as I started reading the book, that was the first time I had like 1 to 2 year break where I hadn't been doing any kind of exercise or movement. And then it was when I started reading the book once again, I was like, okay, I would love to do some movement, but I wanted it to be as fun as possible. And in my place, I cannot go to physical locations. It's not a place where I do have, physical gyms and stuff here. So instead, I was like, okay, I would love to have something online, but at the same time, I didn't wanted it to be recorded videos that we watch. Instead, I wanted it to be like a live class, so I can little bit have that accountability to attend those live classes where I'm showing my face to the instructors, so to speak. And interestingly, so I was looking for some kind of aerobics class or some other dancing kind of a thing. That's what I personally love. But I ended up finding an online thing which gives me so many different classes to choose from each day. So I have, for example, aerobics in it, yoga. So basically, at this point, one day I do aerobics, one day I do yoga, one day it's Zumba dance, another day it is Zumba with some other Bhangra type of dance. So each day is a different activity, and I get to choose which class I want for each day. And I do it just for 15-20 minutes maybe, or I do it for 30 minutes. Someday I really want, just small, and maybe just 10 minutes. So it feels like now I truly enjoy the entire process of moving my body.
That's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And maybe in the notes you can share the website you use so that people can find it. Yeah.
Yes, yes, sure, I'll do that.
I love that. I actually do recorded workout classes and I enjoy that. I had a friend tell me about he's doing one-on-one yoga with a yoga teacher from India. And because he's in
Uh-huh.
England, the rate he has to pay is relatively cheap for him. So I can share that
Right.
web page where he found that person as well. So there are so many possibilities for doing things live online with an actual teacher. And then you have that accountability part and that sense of community as well.
Yes, it does. And it's like a group class, so it's like a beautiful community that builds up.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. When you exercise, focus on how it feels as opposed to counting the calories. Do that while you exercise, immediately after, and when you exercise consistently, feel into your general stress level, energy level, your general sense of well being, of empowerment, and how you sleep. These parameters improve with exercise. So you will most probably feel a change in all of these. And it can actually be really good to pay attention as a baseline after a period of inactivity. So instead of taking the before pictures, skip that and instead feel into during a day, maybe journal. How are you feeling? What's your stress level on a scale from 1 to 10? How's your energy level? How well do you feel? And how well do you sleep? And then monitor that consistently throughout and see what exercising or moving your body will do for you. While you exercise, there is a concept called mindful exercise. And this kind of contradicts a little bit the make it fun, listen to podcasts and stuff while you exercise. So I would say pick the one that will make it most likely that you do it. If you need to watch Grey's Anatomy to actually do it, then do that. And then maybe after a while, you will be okay with doing the mindful stuff. Mindful exercise does enhance the mind body connection. It alleviates mental and physical stress, and it provides genuine enjoyment and pleasure. And I've heard about studies, not from this book, but I've heard about studies where if you focus on your bicep while you're lifting weights, and if you're focusing on it, your muscles will grow more than if you're not. And I mean, there are even studies saying that you can be in bed and visualize lifting weights and your muscles will grow. So that focus thing makes sense. So mindful exercise is a good practice for that. I'm going to share my favorite way of mindful exercise, which to me, Ashtanga yoga is like a moving meditation. In Ashtanga yoga, you go through the same poses in the same sequence every time, and you hold each pose for quite a long time, usually like 5 breaths. And that gives you the time to really feel into the body and your pose. And I had a really good instructor, so she would give great cues. Um, she would be like, lift this part up, strengthen that, and keep your legs strong. And every time she said that, I would, oh, and then I would feel that part of my body. And I would notice that I could do small adjustments that would help me improve my pose in my own practice. And that really put me into my body, like connected my mind and body in a really great way. So I really love that. And it can be different things for different people. Even just taking a walk and noticing how your feet feel. So connect with how your body feels and listen to your body's signals, including pain, fatigue, and when to stop and then stop. Studies show that about 30 minutes of movements per day is really good. So that's a good aim. And it can be divided. It doesn't have to be 30 minutes in one piece. You can do 3 times 10 or 2 times 15 or whatever works for your schedule. Another thing is, can you make movement a non-negotiable? Like you do, you put it in your calendar, and that blocks the time out so that nobody else can book anything in that time. I do it by doing it first thing in the morning. So before I start my workday, I've got that done. That's the best time for me. And
That's exactly how I do as well. It's like my morning 8 a.m. is the schedule. So my work starts at 9 a.m., so to speak.
Yeah, I think that's great. So take a critical look at your schedule and prioritize. Can you find anything in your schedule that you actually don't need to do that's maybe for someone else, and maybe you can eliminate that and focus on yourself instead? And it might be a good idea to make yourself accountable, like hiring a personal trainer or work out with a friend or do the classes you were talking about. That can be a great way too. I usually work out with my husband, so I think that's awesome. You can also integrate movement into your daily life. So it doesn't have to be a scheduled exercise, but if you consistently take the stairs instead of elevators, that is going to be a big help. Also, if you park far away from the entrance, if you're going shopping or you're going somewhere, that's going to help. If you can walk or bike to go somewhere instead of driving or taking the bus, that's great. And like I was doing, get a stationary bike and work out while you're watching your favorite TV show. That's been working really well for me. So you already answered this, I guess, to some extent, but in what ways do you integrate movements in your daily life?
Yeah, I feel the dishwashing was one of those examples in my case. Along
Yeah.
with that, so while I talk on phone with somebody, especially I have this habit of talking to my mom every day, at least 30 minutes. I tend to walk, or I can tend to stand up while, talking to people over phone. So now it has also become a habit for me. I think those are some of the good
Yeah.
ones that I might have. Yeah.
So you've actually attached your new habit onto an existing habit. And that
Yes.
it's called habit stacking, which is really
Uh-huh.
great. I heard someone who said they have a coffee maker, and when they push the on button, it takes a little while for it to start. So they will do 10 squats while they're waiting for their coffee maker because they're just standing there. So
Wow.
that's, I mean, if you do 10 squats every day for 365 days, that's a lot of squats in a year that you didn't previously do. So
Uh-huh. Absolutely.
makes a big difference. Awesome. The book doesn't really give a lot of guidelines, but I'm going to tell you the ones that they actually do, and they're all science-based. So move your body for minimum 30 minutes per day. Include strength training 2 or more times per week. And what they say is do one set of 8 to 10 reps, of 8 to 12 reps, 8 to 10 different exercises to condition all of the major muscle groups in your body. And they also tell you to include stretching and to do that 2 to 3 days per week. And this is actually it. These are their guidelines. I would say though, if you hate strength training, just focus on moving. So don't force yourself to do something that you don't like. But if you do and you still want to do it, then maybe it's a really good idea to hire that personal trainer to get you started. And tell them, hey, can you help me find some fun ways to do this? Yeah. Cool. So we come to the end of this principle. And in summary, move because it's good for you. Move in a way that you enjoy and move in a way that's sustainable, meaning that you will want to do it and if your body is unwell. Now you're muted.
Sorry. I'm thinking
No
maybe we will stop right there just because of the time that we are on Facebook Live. So we will end if you want to stop sharing for now.
Yes.
So the next principle, maybe we will have it for the next time for our viewers. So thank you, my dear viewers, for watching it. So as you can see, for example, this is one of the chapters that she covered from the book, and this is how the presentation happens in the class. Each one of you, if you're taking this particular class, which Greta is going to offer in the school very soon. So if you are watching this at a later time, please visit the website to see when she is offering the class. It's going to be like a 5-week or depending on how we make it. So, but anyways, each class, you come into the class, you read each of these principles, and then you come to the class and you do it as a presentation. And the intention here is when you teach something, it just gets recorded in your brain at such deeper level than just simply reading the book. And you will have that motivation to go ahead and implement these principles in your life once you learn it to a point where you can actually teach it to somebody else. So this is how the class happens. If you're interested, you can join us. I hope there is link below this video for you to join if you're interested. So that's
Can I
all
add
from,
something?
yes, Greta, sure, go ahead.
I just wanted to add that the class will be giving these presentations to each other, and then at the end there will be group healing and exercises to help clear limiting emotions, beliefs related to the material, and also to help implement what we've been reading.
Yes, and thank you so much for reminding. I kind of missed that point. So the classes are like 90-minute class time. So the first 30 minutes is you presenting to someone, next 30 minutes is somebody else presenting it to you, and then last 30 minutes is where the facilitator steps in and you get to have group discussions on the principles, as well as all of the teachers of the Zero Point School are certified in different holistic healing modalities. So they will be using their tools to help you achieve whatever that it is you are learning from each of those classes. So that's how the classes are uniquely created in the school. Let's end it for now, and we will see you in the next presentation. If you're interested, you can contact us. Thank you so much. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.